Now we will continue with some more concepts on JavaScript basics. Let's first get started with something called template literals or template strings. So remember earlier I told you that the strings which are made can be made of single quotes, double quotes, or backticks. And that time I told you that single quotes and double quotes, they are like normal, but with backticks, when you create simple strings, then that time it's obvious that you can use simply single string, single quotes or double quotes. But when you use backticks, then it has much more. It is much more powerful than simply single quotes or double quotes. And that is what we are going to see now, that those strings which are created using these backticks are called template strings. And they are a specialization of something called template literals. So we'll not go into that details, but template strings are a type of template literals, which means that apart from template strings, literals are slightly more powerful. But for now, you don't get into that thing. We will discuss that in somewhere in advanced sessions. But for now, you simply think that template strings and literals are the same thing for now. Okay, why they are used? They are used for first use case is multi-line strings, and second use case is string interpolation with embedded expressions. And then we are going to see each one of them with a few examples. Now there is one more, a couple of more use cases that I told you, that which are like advanced one, which are called tag template literals. But those things we will not discuss for now. For now, let's focus on these simple use cases. So let's see a string. So it's let's say we are creating a string hello, and I told you that I could have and if let's say I print this, then this will print simply hello. But this could have been made by simple single quote also, double quote also, right? But now we'll see that in backticks, if it is there, then we can do a few more things. One of them is multi-line strings, which means that if it is in backticks, then that string can spawn through multiple lines, and then also it will be fine. So you can say, if you do something like this, that hello, you're welcome in my world, then you can see that this whole all these lines are getting into separate lines, and then you see that it works fine. Okay, now let's see a few things. First of all, the string starts from here, you understand, which means that if you put a enter or whatever, then those things will be counted. You see those gaps are coming here. In fact, even if you put a single if you start from template string from here, and start the content from the next line, then there will be a gap, you see here. So basically, if you don't want that, then as soon as the backtick starts, you have to start the content. And the same thing is happening here. You see that my content is ending here, and after that I am putting a new line, and then I am closing backtick, right? If I do that, then you see that's why this new line is coming. So which means that if you do something like this, then that new line will not come. Not only that, if you add some let's say something like this, okay, if you put some space, okay, for indentation, that will also come. So you can see that in that sense, this is a complete raw representation of multi-line string. So this might be helpful in many cases, because if I do something like this in single quote or double quote, then this is going to be, you see, invalid syntax, right? So this will not work. Earlier, when this is actually sort of modern syntax. After 2015, sort of this syntax came. But let's say earlier, what you had to do, you had to properly join these let's say you create separate strings and then join them, understand? That is the only way. So which means that this plus this, you do something like this, then this thing is going to come. Then also you see that everything, apart from that, you have to also incorporate all the new lines. So /n means new line. So if you want to insert a new line after this, then this sort of multi-line thing is possible. So you know that this thing is getting complicated. That thing in template literals, if you have a need of something like this, then that is going to be too much simple. Second use case is something called string interpolation with embedded expressions, which means that you can do something like this, that if a normal string, this thing is a normal string, right? And you can insert that into another template literal. So this is a template literal. So it's like it can be any variable. Let's say my name, and let's say my name. Okay, so any variable you decide, you take, and that variable you can embed inside this string using this. And the syntax is what? Syntax is that you have to have a dollar sign, and then after that curly braces, and within that curly braces you can write any variable, and that value will be embedded inside here. You understand? Now this is powerful. You cannot do this with normal like this. In fact, if you try to do, firstly let's print this. You see, nothing is printed because greeting variable I have created, but I'm not printing it anywhere. So let's print that. Now we see that this hello Raj is printed, right? First thing that if you don't use backticks, if you use normal strings, then you understand that nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. It will be just printing whatever this thing will not work in single quotes or double quote strings. This is special power only of template strings, right? So just, yeah, so if you do something like this, then this will work. Second thing, you can have as many variables as you want. So let's say const number is equal to 100. Okay, and you can take that also. You can, let's say, hello, and in this and 100 coins, you write something like this, let's say, right? And then you have that number. Understand? So now you see that hello Raj and 100 coins, it is there. First thing you notice that you don't need strings, any value, strings, boolean, numbers, any value can be embedded inside that. Okay, that is the first thing you have to focus. Next is that you don't have any restrictions on how many values, any number of values can be embedded inside like this. Now you understand that we have created this so simply. If you really want, let's say this is greeting one, right? And if you really wanted to make this same similar expression using normal strings, then you see that how much complicated it is going to be. Greeting2 is equal to, now you have to take this part, normal string, and then you have to concatenate it with my name, and then concatenate it with this part. Understand? And then have num, and then concatenate it with this part. So now you understand, and you have to properly take care of the proper spaces which are needed, because concatenation will not give any space, so additional spaces you have to take care. Now you understand that earlier when this syntax was not there, then greeting1 and greeting2. So now you see that both are printing the same thing, but you understand the syntax is has become too much simpler. Simply have a dollar sign, curly braces, and then embed that expression. That's it. So this is one of the other examples. This thing, embedding expression with external variables put into it. This type of thing is called interpolation. So whenever you see this word, just it's just a fancy word. It means this sort of thing. Okay. So just now we mentioned that something like this and this you can do. Okay, next we will start with some functions, some JavaScript functions. See you in the next video.